This is your no-fail formula for spell work. Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Amy. I'm a witch. I talk about witchcraft and spirituality and just try to share my knowledge and stuff. It's fun. Today I want to talk about the formula for casting a spell or writing a spell. Is there one? Kind of. So I know you guys know, if you've been here for a minute, that I really believe that witchcraft is personal. I believe that spell work is really personal, and that it really comes down to what feels right for each individual caster. Well, I also know that when you're new, and a lot of you might not be, but if you are, I remember when I was new and I really just wanted something to make sense. I wanted somebody to be able to tell me, do this, then this, and you'll get this. A plus B equals C type of formula. I wanted to know that what I was doing worked. I wanted to know that what I was doing was right, was correct, that I wasn't going to mess it up. So I'm here to help you get that sense of, I know what I'm doing, if you're not comfortable with branching out and making your own unique magic just yet. I know that I preach that a lot, but it can be very difficult sometimes at first to branch out and make something your own if you don't know what that means or what to do. So I'm going to give you my no-fail formula for casting a spell. First, what do you want to accomplish? First thing you need to know is what you want, and you need to be able to condense it in your mind to a very specific, easy to say statement, so that it's something that you can repeat to yourself over and over and over in your mind if you need to. So it's something that you can keep in mind if you're charging a candle or if you're working on a spell. You want to know without fail, this is what I want to accomplish. So for example, if you want a new job and you want a specific one, and that's what you're working on the spell for, then you want to say, the job at blank is mine. Or I believe the job at blank is mine, or I'm thankful that the job at blank is mine. Or even more specifically, I am thankful that the marketing coordinator job at blank is mine. And then you can tell yourself that over and over and over again. And the reason that this is important is because, 2, the universe needs to have specific direction for what you want. If you just say, I want a new job, or I would like a new job if this thing lines up and so does this, and then I get this thing that does over here, and then that turns out that I get to have a job, then the universe can't really work with that. It's really important that you are specific with what you want, and even more so with the job that you want. If you just say, I want the job at this place, then you could end up with like a cashiering job when what you wanted was a stocking manager job, or something like that. So you want to have a specific direction for your spell to go in. 3, you need to know what you're working with. Are you working with an element? Are you working purely on your own power? Are you asking for the help of a deity, a god, a goddess, etc.? Are you harnessing the power of the moon in one of its phases? These are things to keep in mind, to consider. Even if you don't write it into your spell, keep it in the back of your mind if you want to do something during a certain moon phase, or if you want to invoke a specific deity, then it's important that you know which one that you're invoking, and also the types of things that they do, what they're good for, what they're good at, and what they appreciate. Often when you're working with deities, they like to have an offering. It's kind of like, it's not exactly a trade, it's not like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of deal, but it's nice when you're asking somebody to do you a favor to then give them something that shows that you've got, then give them a token of your gratitude. And that can really go a long way when you're working with deities or even, fairies. Actually, that's a whole other topic. Before, you need to decide if you're going to write it down, if you want to speak a spell, chant a spell, or if you want to write an invocation or an incantation. The difference being that an invocation is 1 or 2 words that you use to summon the power that you want to use. An incantation is usually a rhyming spell, a spell with end rhyme that you can easily learn, remember, or speak and sort of chant over and over and over and over again. If you're not the kind of person who wants to write their spells down, that's fine too, but that goes in this step. You need to know if you're going to write the spell, if you're going to try to memorize and speak the spell, or if you're just going to use your, that's not good enough. It is, trust me. If you're going to use your power and your intention and your focus to make the spell happen without the use of words, and that's totally fine. Step 1 gave you a clear idea of what you want to achieve, and you can use that idea to make the spell come alive. But in this step, you really need to decide, am I writing it down or am I not? 5, you need to decide what tools you're going to use. Do you need to use tools? Are you asking for something specific? Do you want to write it on a piece of paper and then burn it? Do you want to do a water spell? Are you doing a candle spell? You can etch the thing that you want or the thing that you're asking for into the side of a candle and then burn it. Or are you going to do this without tools, which is also totally fine, but you need to know what you're planning to use. Often, if you can, I would suggest just picking 1 or 2 things that you want to use and be sure to connect them. Again, in step 4, if you're writing this, be sure to connect them. So for example, if you're doing a money spell and you want to enchant a coin to help bring money into your pockets, then you want to work the coin into the words of the spell. You want to say, this coin brings abundance or something like that. This coin multiplies my money continuously or every day or every hour. It's a really bad example. I'm not telling you how to write the spell, so bear with me. You want to pick an item or a couple of items that actually connect to what you're trying to do and will help you accomplish it. Because again, I have a video about doing magic without tools, and I'll put that somewhere, but it's not necessary to use tools in your magic. But if you are going to use them, don't get overwhelmed. Don't try to use everything. Don't be like, I'm going to have a wand and a tarot deck, and I'm going to have these crystals, and then I'm going to have a penny, but I don't know what to do with it, and then I've got a candle, and then you got to tie it all together. If tools help you get there, then that's great. And if you're at the point where you have, an altar set up and you've got all of these things that you use every time, that is also just fine. But if you're just starting out and the idea of working a spell on your own is really overwhelming, then just picking a single item that will connect you to your intention, to the spell getting done, and call it good. The 6th step is to cast a circle. I have a video about that as well. If you don't know how to cast a circle, you can see how I cast a circle. This is really important because anytime you do a spell, you want to be in a safe and protected space. And that is not just physically, it's also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You don't want anything to be able to interfere with your spell or to interfere with you while you're vulnerable and working a spell. And that's basically all I need to say about that. Be sure to cast a circle before you start your spell. 7, actually perform your spell. Once you have everything together and you've decided who you're asking for help and what you're going to use, what you're asking for, and how you're going to do it, you've put up your circle, then go ahead and complete your spell. When you're finished with your spell, so I guess number 8, be sure to thank whatever it is that you're asking for help. Thank the deity, thank, the elements or whatever that you're invoking, if you're invoking elements or a deity. And also, I guess 9, bring down your circle before you step out of it. It's really important that you bring the energy of your circle down and nudge it open with a toe or something very respectfully, or you can do it with, if you have a broom that you use for your practice, you can use a broom to sweep the circle away, but it's very important that you reverently open the circle rather than just leaving it abruptly, because that can it's not good. And I guess 10 is just bask in the delight that your spell is working and happening and good. This is something that I don't like to talk about because it's a little bit weird for people who are not used to casting spells or people who are not witches. If you're talking to somebody who is agnostic or religious or whatever, and they're just asking about your craft, this can be kind of a weird thing to talk about, but I'm going to do it here. Spell work creates a high. That rush of, and I'm not talking about the medicated kind. So if talking about highs is triggering for you, then just know that I'm about to talk about an energetic high, not a drug high, or maybe just don't watch this part of the video. It creates an energetic high. So when you're casting a spell, you're putting a lot of effort into what you're doing. You're putting your energy into it. You're summoning other energy that you're channeling through your body, and you're co-creating, you're creating something out of nothing. You're putting your energy out into the universe to make something change, to make a change. And that is a rush. And it can be a big rush because all of that energy is just in your body. It's cycling through your body. You've got these amazing images of wonderful things happening, and you've got this idea that you're powerful and you're one with the universe and you feel connected to everything, and it's big. It feels big. So there's like a rush when you're finished, right? And then there can be an energetic crash afterward too. Like you might be buzzing for like half an hour or an hour or a day or whatever, and you might be like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I feel so good. It's working. It's happening. I feel amazing. Everything is good. I want to do it again. I want to do more spells. And then next thing you know, you're like down for a nap. It's a thing. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like a sugar high, but it doesn't make you sick, and it feels better, and it's in your whole body, and it's in your mind and your energy, and it can really help you raise your vibes too if you're having mental. I know from personal experience for myself, if I'm feeling a little bit down, anxious, depressed, and I'm not saying that this is in any way a substitute for getting proper help or treatment, but sometimes casting a spell can help me gain some control and get some good, happy, high vibe energy going. I know that meditation and yoga are very helpful for that as well. But so is casting spells. Casting a spell with good intentions can really help to pick you up when you're not feeling up. So that's my 10-step formula. 1 + 2 + 3 divided by 9 equals X, which is 10. I don't know. I don't do math, you guys. Let me know how you felt about this formula. If you have one yourself that you would like to share with new witches or witches that would like to change up their spell casting routine. I know sometimes I want a change up in my spell casting routine. It can become a routine. It can. That's a thing that can happen. Don't take your power for granted, guys. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. If you want to learn about invocations and fast casting, or you're practicing elemental magic, check out my new ebook. It's my first mini magical manual. I'm sure that there will be more. This was a request from you guys, and if you use the link in the description box down below, you get your copy for free. I'm really excited about it. Get it, read it, tell me what you think. Use the practices inside. Check out my Instagram. You can always DM me comments and questions there as well, and support me on Patreon. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. If you made it through this whole video, I really hope it helped, and also just thank you so much. All right, that's it. I'm gonna go. Have a blessed and beautiful day.